Hi, this is Melissa with A Creative Journey with Melissa, and today I'm going to create a Down syndrome awareness card. If you don't know this, my goddaughter has Down syndrome, and her amazing mom, Christy, and her amazing sister. They're all fantastic. They're awesome people, and I have to tell you that they make me so proud every day in educating others and educating themselves on how to be amazing and an advocate for their sisters or daughter, and of course for Down syndrome awareness. It's really important that we are understanding, and of course in this day and age, caring, compassionate, and like I said, educate yourself. Basically what Down syndrome is when you have an extra copy of chromosome 21, and that alters the genetic makeup of the child. And in doing so, would you believe that 1 in every 700 babies in the United States is born with Down syndrome? That's about 6,000 a year. So like I said, this is really common, and I would like you to also educate yourself, because it's important that we are aware of everybody and what challenges they may face, so we're compassionate and understanding, especially in this day and age. It's so important. So with that, I wanted to show you this cool project. It's cute, and it's well, I like it. Anyway, of course it has a little soft place in my heart. But with that, we're gonna need a card base, white paper to stamp on. We're gonna need some yellow paper as well. We're gonna use some of this twine here. Our ink, we have 2 chameleon pens. They are BL6 and YL2. We also have, of course, our awareness ribbon, stamp set 1, and this one is one of our best sellers and also most common for people to use for any awareness cause. So this is really a great set and very versatile too. We have this right here. This is a star embossing folder. It's a Cuttlebug. We have our awesome lined stamp block. We have some adhesive. We have 3 rhinestones, and we have a little 3D foam, and that is all you will need. So with that, I'm going to get started. I'm going to scoot this over here. I'm going to show you what the project looks like, so that you can know that ahead of time. So let me do this, get this stuff out of our way, and move this over here. This is the card we're making. So Down Syndrome Awareness Month, the colors are represented with blue and with yellow, and I thought this was a perfect way to create awareness. So I didn't know if you were aware of this, that October was Down Syndrome Awareness Month, but now you are. See, now I'm educating you. How you like that? So what we're going to do is we're going to first go ahead and take our stamp set out, and we're going to take out our block and of course our paper that we're going to stamp on, and the stamp. So if you're not familiar with photopolymer stamps, these are them, and they come on a clear sheet. So we're just going to peel it off, and we're just going to put it right on our stamp block. Okay, and we need our ink. So we're going to ink the stamp like so. And I'll probably make a couple of these, so just in case I make a mistake, which unfortunately happens more often than I like to admit, but it does happen. Right there. Okay, so we've stamped those. Just going to clean off our stamp over here. And so this right here shows you the stamp image, so you can see how clean it is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take out, right here, we're going to take out our, we're going to take out our chameleon pens. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the yellow. I personally think it's better to start off with the lighter color first, because if you start with the darker, you can't really take it away as easy. You can, but it's not as easy. So I'm just going to go ahead and take off this end right here, which I would call the bullet nib. It's got a little fuzz on it. Pull that off. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and color the ribbon. So you can do it highlighted. You can do, I'm just going to use this almost like it's a regular marker. I use these more often than not like regular markers. These are alcohol-based markers. I love them. They are fantastic, and I love the color, the richness. It's one of my favorite types of markers to color with or create with. And it's an alcohol-based marker, so you really are able to get some great colors. And if you've heard of other alcohol-based markers like Copic markers, Spectrum Noir, I believe is another name. I know Stampin' Up! Has some. I haven't used all of those. I do have Copic markers, and I love those, but they're a little bit more expensive for my budget. So I like to use these because these are also a forever pen, like Copic markers, that you can change the nib out, which is the tip, or you can refill them. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do with them. So, and you can make your own colors too if you wanted to and get a blank marker. So it's kind of neat. There's different options you can do. Okay. So I don't know about you, but I was always taught to color. I was taught to color by my grandmother. I mean, I was taught to color by other people too, but what she taught me was to go around the edges. So that's what I'm doing right now. I don't know. It's something I haven't changed, so I don't know if I'm going to change it anytime soon. And I'm trying to do this quickly. I would probably be a little bit slower in doing this and probably a little bit more precise, so I apologize if it's not as great or perfect as it could be, but I just want to show you how I'm just simply coloring with this marker. Nothing fancy, no super tricks or anything like that. And as you can see, it goes on so smoothly. I really like it. And I usually like to color in a circle. That way there's no, there's a lot of different variations of color. I like to kind of mix it up a little bit because sometimes you get a darker spot or a lighter spot. Well, I like to make sure that there is that because I think it's kind of neat. It adds to the texture of the image. That's just me though. What do I know? Anyway, so there is the image. And I actually have one already colored and cut out. So we're going to use that. That way you don't have to watch me cut out the image. Okay, so we'll use that. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and take our card base and set it aside. And we're going to pull out our die cut machine, which also allows us to emboss. Okay, so all we got to do is we're going to take out our yellow piece of paper. We're going to take out our embossing folder, and this is the star embossing folder, and it's pretty simple. You're just going to take your embossing folder and you're going to open it up, place your piece of paper right inside like this, close it up. We're going to move this out just a little bit. Actually, let me turn this around so that my handle is facing me. It's a little bit easier for me to maneuver it that way. In the meantime, I'm going to take my embossing folder that has the paper in it already. I'm going to place it underneath the clear platform. So we have the regular platform, it's tab 1. And this is an older version. They have different platforms now, but this basically gives you the same idea. And then you have your clear platform on top. We're going to put our embossing folder on top of that. And then we're going to put our clear platform on top. And we're just going to run it through like this. Okay. And we're going to take this out, put that aside. And I'm going to put my machine down on the floor so it's not in our way anymore. So now you can see what happens when you emboss it. Pretty cool, huh? I love the texture. Isn't that great? I just love the texture of that. So with that, you can use either the embossed outside or the negative version inside. I just thought that this card would be perfect with, you know, I don't know if I even ever showed you the card. Did I show you the card? How silly of me. If I didn't, this is it. And I love it, but I'm pretty sure I did. It's been a long day already. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is for here, I did the embossing part facing out. So I'm going to do this one again. So what we're going to do is grab our card. We're going to grab our adhesive. And we're just going to put the adhesive on the back of here, like so. just to make sure it sticks onto your card. Looks good. Push down to make sure it's on there right. Alrighty. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take our ribbon that's already pre-cut out. I actually used my brother's ScanNCut to cut that out. And that makes life very, very, very easy. So then you don't have to do any of the fussy cutting. I'm going to take my 3D foam square and put it right on the back. Gives it a little bit of a 3D effect. I'm going to peel that off. We're just going to go ahead and place it on right here. Alrighty, now what we're going to do is we're going to just take this twine and we're going to wrap it around 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to tie a little bow like so. Make it a little bit shorter, just a little, not too much. All right. And then we'll use our scissors to trim the excess off, like so. Now, I liked the way this looked before. I thought this looked pretty good. So you can do this, or you can do a little bit fancier version and put a little bit of rhinestones on that. I'm not sure which you like better. What do you think? I like them both. So I'm going to leave one like this and one like that. So I'm going to move this though. One little trick is if you have a card and you're like, oh no, I already tied this, you can bend it in and then you can easily just scoot your little bow right like that. See how that worked? So I'm just going to scoot that over. So either one of those, I think, looks lovely. What do you think? I hope you think so too. So thank you so much for joining me today. I realize this was a pretty quick project, but I did want to make sure that you were aware of Down Syndrome Awareness Month, and that someone that I love very, very much, and I would say is got a huge piece of my heart in St. Louis for sure, has Down syndrome. And I hope that you will educate yourself so that you're familiar with all the different challenges that someone may face with Down syndrome. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed going on a creative journey with Melissa. Have a great day. Bye-bye.